What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Terrace Black here again with another video, and you won't believe what the video is about. It's about Ruby Amethyst. Oh my lord, who would have thought? Yeah, so I'm gonna try to hurry up and make this video quick because I got about 17 minutes and 30 seconds because I got pizza rolls in the oven, man. A true meal of champions. Okay, true meal of champions. Anyways, got made it to top 8 today at an event, first set 6 event that I played. And yeah, I mean, I was feeling, you guys have seen, very discouraged about red purple and kind of its positioning. And while I like to cry about the deck a lot, I can't help but only play red purple. You know, what can I say? I'm a one trick pony. If it's what you're known for and you're good at it, then you just keep doing it, right? So that's been the situation. Typically, I would, show the. I gotta get used to where I got a point, but typically I would show Dreamborn list. We're gonna do it a little bit different. I have the cards physically, right? So I might as well show them off, and then we'll go over this little table here about my matchups and maybe talk about them a little bit more specifically. So let's pop this up here. Ooh, look at that. And we'll go over it. So most of it is very, very simple. Nothing crazy here. But there's a couple key choices that I think, for me personally, just fit kind of what I want to do a little bit better, kind of fit my play style, and maybe could potentially fit your play style. And like every other list, every other version of the list or whatever that I talk about, this is not the end all be all. It'll never be that way. This is simply just another base that you can start with. If you've tried out my other list, you don't like them, or you tried out other people's lists, don't like them, or kind of like you feel like you're in a weird crossroad, you don't know exactly what you want to do, kind of like how you want to navigate it. We have this, right? So this is just something. So we'll go through it. Very simple stuff, right? So we started off with our one drops. Our four of Chernabogs and Brooms. I've seen Kendall was running 6 in the Cross Continental, but I think in his matchup against Frank afterwards in his interview, he talked about going back up to the 8 one drops. Even though you have 8, there was multiple times today where I didn't see a single one drop on turn 1, and it was pain, and I really had to fight today. It was not fun. I felt comfortable, like I didn't feel like as on edge as I thought I would, but also at the same time, like the matchups were not as easy as you would want them to be. And that's just because the cool thing about this set is that I feel like it takes all the major decks and like finally is in a point where they can all splinter off into different versions that are actually legitimately like playable, while also giving other very weak color combinations a boost forward. And I'll kind of talk about some of the unique decks that I ran across today and kind of my matchups against it. So yeah, that's kind of your standard one drops. I feel like there's not really much to say about them. They're just good. Red purple doesn't play Diablo unless you're playing Burn, in my opinion. Two drops. Snake, not much to say there. Flynn, like I've said multiple times, I think people like to play Cusco. Some people just don't like to play Flynn in their red purple because they get salty that he doesn't trigger every single game. But that's the thing. Like he's not going to trigger off every game, but when he does, you you're like so far ahead. You're in such a good spot. So, yeah, he doesn't go off majority of the time, but the 30-40% that he does, I'll say it time and time again, is worth playing him. He is a must-answer card, and every other deck, likes to play unfair and likes to play a bunch of cards that we have to immediately answer. So, it's only right that we have a couple lines like that ourselves that puts our opponent in a tough spot. Three drops. We have the Sisus to go with the Flynn's. You have to run that. And then the foxes. Foxes don't ever go away. You're playing purple, you play foxes. That's just how it is. And then you have the four brawls. Self-explanatory. When I won this set champ, I was playing a list that I put together that only had 3 brawls. But I think you just go. I'm just back on 4 now because it's just so necessary, and there's so many things that even still is very, very strong and very, very necessary to take out. So it's just a good card, and it's very awkward card. There's a lot of moments I had today where like I was either forced to play, like I was just kind of forced in the position of having to play it, or I had to choose and figure out another way to play the turn and not just brawl so that I wouldn't just, flat out be losing. It's a very awkward card. We don't like playing the card, but it's a necessary evil. And then of course your four friends on the other side. I don't see that ever changing. Things that have been around since set one. I don't think need too much explanation. We'll get into the actual we'll get into the meat potatoes in a second. Actually, coming up here. So, oh yeah. Also, 3 drops. The library is good. I think it's still one of the most underrated cards, maybe in the game. Maybe in the game. Maybe I'll be crazy and say that. Um, but I think at least in red purple. So, and we'll get to it where this list doesn't have any castles at all. I've been seeing a lot of lists kind of shave castles. And that's fine. I've never been super big on castles. I just always felt like, okay, like I'll just play it because it's a good closeout card. But even when it was first introduced, I thought it was cool but was never like super huge on it compared to when this card came out and I started playing with the library. I immediately fell in love. And maybe, me specifically loving the card so much and just putting in that time and effort to understand how to play it effectively has made it to where this makes the cut, whereas Castle doesn't. Right. And that's just because I feel like with Castle, if you get the trigger off on the Castle, you're already winning the game. Like you're just winning the game. Um, but then also the castle gives your opponent time to answer what you're doing, right? At least with your characters. It makes you not want to quest aggressively sometimes with your characters because you're trying to set up the trigger for the castle, whereas library gives you much more utility in the sense that you can either be very aggressive and benefit off being aggressive because of the library, or you can do what you normally are doing anyways, which is getting value trades or just doing one for one trades, and this card backs you up and keeps your momentum going while you're doing what you were already going to do. And so it's a good card for being in the lead, and it's also a good card for being behind and trying to catch up. So library is an all-star for me. Even when I won the set champs, I contribute a lot of that success specifically to this card and specifically to, like the Rush Elsa, which we'll get into. But yeah, library is cracked. I did some extremely cracked things today with it. Against red blue, faced against my buddy John. Shout out John, one of the best, if not the best. Honestly, I'll just say the best player in Florida. We played each other in round 5, and got an unintentional draw. We were playing. It was very good matches, but second match was very very grindy, and just kind of ended up being the way it was. But because we won one and then won the next round, we both were able to make top 8. So we didn't knock each other out. So that's always nice. But yeah, what was it? Game 1, I think it was one of the games that I won against him. On turn 6, I like dropped a double castle double library, my bad. And yeah, it's pretty good against red blue. So yeah, standard 4s. Uh, so we see 4 goats, super standard, nothing crazy there. Only 3 rabbits now, and the reason for only 3 rabbits is because we're now playing 3 genies. And originally I was trying the 4-2 split. Um, but I think I found that the 3-3 split just makes more sense. We're fine shaving down on a rabbit because we have the genie. And I honestly like Edmund's explanation about having genie in the list, um, and kind of how he can almost give you in a way certain times the same benefit that the castle was does, except at least genie is a body. So with the castle you're playing it and then you're hoping it doesn't get taken out, and if it doesn't then it's just going to get you so much value. Genie is the exact same way except he's a body, and he's something that if you need to, and I did this a couple times today, do your typical bounce with. So you play it, you quest with it, bounce it, replay it, or play it, draw a card, bounce it, play it again. So you kind of get to do that type of stuff. So it has a little bit more versatility than a castle does. And yeah, I mean, him being evasive, 2-4, good stats. Kind of something that they have to immediately answer, or it just kind of runs away with the game. I like this in this deck compared to having a castle. And maybe castles are supposed to be in the list. I don't know. I didn't play him today. There wasn't, I don't think, a single spot where I was like, man, if I had a castle right now, I'd win this game. And that is mainly because I think this new meta is a lot lower to the ground, a lot faster, and you're having to really play to the board and answer things a lot quicker than we have previously. So you really need to be playing something value every single time. And Castle, like I said, is very good for closing out the game. Um, but something like library helps you play that board game a lot more and really play that board positioning and not be completely punished for it, or being able to, force them to really have to do trades or waste a lot of time trying to get rid of the library because it's got a lot of health. Oh, did this go out? Okay, we're still going. My screen went off. Okay, I'll make sure to move things around. Jeez, okay. I gotta turn that off, but we're good. Recording's still going. Cool. We have 6 minutes left till the pizza rolls are done, so I gotta chop it up. Okay, no 30-minute video today. Two Mauis. I originally, when I won this set champs, my big experiment, and as you've seen in some other lists, was completely shaving Maui and trying to play none of him. But uh, similar to the reason why I think Castle may feel a little bit too slow now is the same reason why I feel like Maui is now very good, because you want to have as much characters that can come out and significantly help you start turning the tides or really solidify what you're doing. And there's a lot of characters that you need to get rid of as soon as that thing goes sideways. And Maui, is just Maui. He's great. So I only have two. Um, and then I have the four Elsas. But honestly, I'm thinking of just doing like a 3-3. I think that's probably what I'm going to test the next time, just to get the extra Maui. But in this scenario, the 2-4 split I think is also extremely reasonable. Elsa is a card that really helps you, especially against green purple or any of amber steel. Really helps you turn the tides, right? And being on the draw and helps you kind of turn that corner that lets you get in that driver's seat. Whereas Maui can really, just do typical Maui things, nice big trades, 2-for-1s. Elsa's great for going, okay, you're in the lead. I'm going to do this. And now I've flipped it to where now I'm in the lead. Because they're kind of like seeing a Maui coming, but they're going to play a character, expect that character to hopefully live the next turn. And Elsa gives you a very, very nice way to be able to get rid of that character early, before it gets to quest or do anything significant, and then move from there. And she's also evasive, which is nice. So she's kind of pesky for some decks to really deal with. So we'll go on to our little 6-drop suite, which is just a simple 2 Madame Medusa, 2 Tremaines. I think Tremaine, typically I didn't really play a lot of Tremaine, but I think she's actually very good now, just in this current meta we're dealing with and kind of what we're potentially seeing threat-wise. There's a lot of things that you just want to get rid of, um, that maybe Medusa doesn't hit, or you just need more removal essentially. And instead of going, three Medusas, you just do a nice little clean even 2-2 split. We have bounce cards that allow us to replay things. So having a nice even split, and also kind of puts our opponent in a way where they have to now respect, both of these equally. And don't go, oh, okay, well, I never really saw Tremaine. You just had a lot of Medusas. This is like, okay, no, you have to play around the Tremaine. And if you don't play around the Tremaine, then I hit you with the Medusa. And it's just a bunch of shenanigans. I think even 2-2 split, good stuff. I'll just keep the red bombs up here. So originally, I was testing around messing with Edmund's list, who was only running 2 B preps and then 2 big Sisus. Tried it out. I thought it was okay. I think it's very, very kind of dependent on what the meta is in that specific room. I think all in all, you're just a lot safer to just always play 4 B preps because B preps lets you blow everything up and reset. So that's always great. B preps, best card in the game. That's my opinion. You may not agree, that's fine. But B Prep is the best card in the game. And then I had a one of Sisu. Always nice because you're running the 3-drop Sisu. So I didn't do any shifting today. I didn't get to run into that scenario, but having that option is great. You know, I kind of started with Edmund's list where he was running 2 Sisus and 2 B Preps, but then eventually I just shaved down the Sisu and also uh, shaved down the Sisu, went up the B preps, and just kept the one Sisu because you know it's a great one of that they have to respect. It's essentially your fifth Be Prepared, and having 5 Be Prepareds is nice, especially against certain decks like Amber Steel, Green Purple. Really put in work today. So super quick, I have like 2.5 minutes, real quick, to go over some of these matchups. A lot of them kind of normal. So we had round one was rough because I faced hyper aggro, and they were running like Lilo's daisies. Um, what's some other thing? The main thing that was killing me was he was doing just in time. He had it every single time. He did just in time. Brought out Jim Hawkins. Jim Hawkins went on RLS Legacy, and then yeah, it just got really out of hand. And unfortunately, on game three, he was going first. I was going second. I mulliganed, and I got nothing, and I had nothing to play until turn three, and he just had the nuts, and yeah, so I lost. So fun way to start out the tournament, but it was whatever. You get the loss out the way. Then green purple. Green purple's a great deck, but we're running things like Elsa and things. You just kind of have to play very, very board wise and just do a lot of good value trades at the beginning, and then stumble into and kind of build up to the control stuff later on. Purple Steel was a fun matchup with a buddy of mine who we faced in the finals for the set champs that I won. He was playing like a low to the ground Purple Steel. Fun list. Amber Steel is like a low to the ground version. Started going crazy, but at the end of the day, Amber Steel loves to kill itself. Um, because that's just what whole new world decks do, and that's what happened to him, and I won the game. Then against John, red blue, we drew. Had a really good games. It could have really went either way, game two or game three. Ultimately, he would have ended up winning game three, but just how the timing worked, we ended up drawing. But I will say that if that game did go on for another like 2 turns, he just wins that game. Maui Shark was like super huge for him and like put a lot of pressure on late game, and I just could not quest because he had some good stuff in the discard, so it kind of put me in a tough situation. I was digging like an absolute madman for Be Prepared, and I could not find it, and yeah, but we ended up drawing, and then both ended up winning our next round, and it was all good. I wish my boy John Sweet had a Twitter because I'd love to tag him. But yeah, he was playing a super cool Ruby Steel list that actually put me on the ropes a lot of the time. And also my mulligans and draws were just really bad. Well, my draws were decent, but my mulligans specifically were really, 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 really bad. And so I was kind of playing in a tough spot. But it's also a whole new world deck, and similar to Amber Steel, sometimes you just got to let them take themselves out essentially. And that's kind of what happened. But yeah, his Ruby Steel list was super sick. I might actually mess around with it. I think, if I believe so, he said it was either, I don't believe it was a direct copy, but I believe he said it was heavily inspired by uh, DeCandio's list that he had posted for Ruby Steel, because he was building a Ruby Steel, kind of had some awkward parts in it that he didn't know about. Saw DeCandio's version and kind of like meshed the two together, and it was actually really, really good. When I played against him. So it was essentially he had to beat me to make top 8. I was already locked in top 8, but because he needed to win in order to get in, whereas I could have just drawn, we played it out because we had to, and I was able to secure that with the glorious anime main character B prep off the top. Chef's kiss. We did it. But yeah, so it was actually a very fun event. Shout out John. Shout out everybody that I met there. It's always good seeing the buddies, and great event. Yeah, I'll make sure to post the link for this down below so you guys can have that. Yeah, make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment, about what you guys are playing, how you guys are feeling about the new set, and give me some suggestions on content, and we will be making that. I'm gonna be trying to live stream a little bit more, so be on the lookout for that. Follow my Twitter at LSP Terrace because I will be posting about that. I post whenever I live stream, things like that. So keep a lookout for that. Love you guys. Love the community. Y'all stay rocking. Good luck with the new set. And yeah, hopefully next weekend I can pull it off again. So peace out.